I have a guest with me today.
We are going to talk about the 100 on Netflix.
The first season. Can you tell me what is it about?
They decide to send down a bunch of teenagers to the Earth. They are going to find out if the Earth is safe to live on now. Clark decides to take a group of them and go and find Mount Weather.
Going on to the second season, you mentioned Mount Weather, but it doesn't seem like something is really correct up there.
Clark, she starts to get suspicious.
There are people in cages.
Lexa betrays her.
That's basically about the second season. If we're going to talk about the third season, now starts to be really interesting because now it's going to be a lot about AIs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like an AI called Allie. She has this like city of light that is a place where your minds can get backed up to it, so you never really die, and like you can't feel pain and you're like happy all the time. Yeah, she convinces Jaha from the 100 to like spread this whole. It almost becomes like a cult or something.
Yeah, very creepy culture, or cult as you say.
Yeah, because when he got to Earth, he didn't know what the City of Light was. He had just heard of it, and he thought it was like some like peaceful city. So he found, because he landed in the desert, and he found some people there, and he brought them with him to go find the City of Light. And then they get to like a big house. When he enters, there's Allie, and she's like a hologram. She starts talking to him, and she manages to convince him that the City of Light is a great thing and everyone should back their minds up to it, and he basically gets brainwashed and convinced to take the chip.
And the way she controls people is by ships. They swallow it completely, and that's the least disgusting part, because further on in the seasons you will find out how they get Allie out of the bodies, and that's a little bit disgusting. Allie is taking control over Jaha, who is himself taking over more and more people, or he convincing them rather to joining the City of Light, and that the more people Allie can have, the more she can take control of them. But what is the reason she wants to control them?
Well, it's sort of like because as we find out later, there's going to be like another nuclear explosion on Earth, so she wants everyone to like back their minds up to the City of Light, but that's not like, it's not reality, so yeah.
Yeah, it's just the minds that gets teleported to a virtual world, basically. I think the Matrix for what I know. Kind of interesting that I mentioned Matrix when I haven't seen any of the Matrix movies myself. Or maybe Inceptions. I know you have seen that one though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen Inception, but I guess this storyline is more similar to Matrix. But I can't really say because I haven't seen Matrix in a long time, but it's like a similar type of thing, I think.
I like this tech stuff when robots or AIs takes over, things like that. I don't know what you feel about that.
Yeah, it's scary, but it was like a cool storyline. I liked it.
Gotta say, I really like the person who is playing Allie. I thought it was Gal Gadot at first, which is the person who plays Wonder Woman, but it's not. But she looks very similar. In this season also, there's also another thing going on. The big space base we talked about earlier, it has now crashed down to Earth. And there is going on another thing there, because we have a guy named Pike, who has basically done some kind of rebellion against the leaders, I would say, isn't it?
Yeah, because at this point the 100 has managed to like make a peace deal with the Grounders, but they meet Pike, and Pike is like, he's against the Grounders, he doesn't trust them or anything, so he manages to convince a large part of the 100 to rebel against this, basically get them to attack the Grounders, which just breaks everything, the peace deal and everything.
Yeah, he more or less wants to kick down the door and be like, we are the true survivors, you don't belong to Earth, we are the only ones who should be there. Bellamy joins Pike, and then he thinks he's the right thing, yet it's not. People trying to be convinced here and there. But of course Allie has to be destroyed in one way or another. So they find the old laboratory where she is created, and also I think, isn't they finding the data for the original creator for her? Mm. And there we find out that you can destroy Allie, but you're not gonna find out enough what's going on once this gigantic meltdown is going on now on Earth. And what is that meltdown for something?
Yeah, it's going to be another nuclear explosion on Earth. So that is something that they don't know at first.
Yeah, all the nuclear reactors that are still on Earth, they are, as you said, they're melting, and they're going to create some kind of like a big, gigantic radiation wave, destroying everything in its path. That's basically where we're jumping over to season 4. Now it's all about taking cover for this gigantic radiation wave. What's going on now when the clock is ticking down?
They have to find a way to protect themselves from this radiation. I think it was Jaha who found out that there's a bunker that they can hide in, but not everyone will fit in the bunker. So they have to figure out who's going to be there, and will the grounders be there or just the 100, and they have to find a way to figure that out. And then Clark and some others, they found on the space station that they've gotten to, they found there's a rocket there, so they decide to get to space to save themselves. But then they find out that there's something that Clark needs to do to get the rocket to work, like a lever that she needs to pull or something again. So she has to go out and do that, and that way she misses the rocket. She doesn't get back on it in time, and she also doesn't get to the bunker. So she has to survive on her own.
That's basically what it's all about. They have to find a bunker that doesn't seem to be the right one at first, and then they have to find a second bunker that seems to be the right one. It's very like Indiana Jones stuff. They have to solve stuff. At the end of this season, we do a gigantic jump. Something must have happened to Clark. We find her 6 years after that this radiation wave destroyed everything. And she's fine, but why?
Well, because she has been injected with night blood, so she was able to survive.
Yeah, night blood. That's something we didn't mention really.
Yeah, you have like the leaders of the grounders, they all have night blood, and that way they can take a certain chip that is sort of like the one that was with the City of Lights, but this one is better, and it sort of gives you powers and makes you a leader. It's I guess it's sort of you become part AI, part human in a way, and you can only the chip only works if you have night blood. If you get it in, if you take the chip, otherwise you die.
That's a detail I forgot about completely. Night blood is basically going to be even more important as the later season going on. Clark now on Earth is not alone. She has someone with her.
Yes, while she was out there on Earth by herself, she found a child that had also survived, because the child, I think she has night blood too, so that's how she was able to survive. And she when she starts taking care of this child, it almost adopts her.
Yeah, Clark's become a mom. Yeah, and in space there's also something happening while Clark is down on Earth and trying to get contact with those up in space. And that's where we jump over to season 5.